Hello and welcome to the Paul Garcia Show. I'm your host, Paul Garcia, and today I have a very special guest named Austin Gomez. Austin's name is very well known throughout the wrestling community, and not just in Illinois, but also at the national and even world levels. He's recently made headlines for a stunning announcement just a couple days ago that he'd be medically retiring just before his senior year at Iowa State University, where he was a serious contender for the Division I NCAA title at 133 pounds. Austin and I had a great conversation about why he made this decision, what exactly went into the decision-making process, as well as some of his favorite wrestling memories, and much, much more. This special midweek episode is brought to you by the highly acclaimed youth and high school wrestling training facility, The Compound. The Compound is located in Shenoa, Illinois, and they pump out elite-level wrestlers like you wouldn't believe. The Compound has helped produce tons and tons of IKWF, IESA, IHSA, freestyle, folk style, and Greco state champions, and even national champions. These results speak for themselves. This place also hosts some amazing guest clinicians like Isaiah Martinez, Johnny DeJulius, and even the man I'm talking to today, Austin Gomez. So if you're serious about taking your wrestling to the highest level, whether you're a youth, middle school, or high school wrestler, you simply have to check out The Compound, located in Shenoa, Illinois. I've linked their Facebook page to this post, so you can just send them a message and take it from there. This place is incredible. The Compound, an incredible wrestling training facility. All right, there you have it. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Austin Gomez. Austin Gomez, thanks a lot for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Your reputation really precedes you, especially in the state of Illinois. You were a 3-time IHSA state champ, and you were a 2-time Fargo national champ. You were among the top recruits coming out of high school. You went on to continue your academic and athletic career at ISU, Iowa State University. And you were a crowd favorite, man. You were explosive, exciting to watch. But the reason you're on today is because you recently made headlines basically in every corner of the wrestling community. You announced your medical retirement from the sport of wrestling. Before we go too deep into it and I ask too many questions, I sincerely would like to know, how are you doing emotionally, mentally? Because I'm sure this wasn't an easy decision to come to.
Emotionally, I'm doing all right. I'll try not to tear up here, but, wrestling is it's just what I've been doing since I've been able to walk, really. I've been 2 years old. I was on a wrestling mat with the headgear on at least. So it's been a whirlwind of emotions, and it's hard right now because I had to give up something I love so much, but life moves on, and I just had to do it for my health and safety for the future, and really ultimately so I'd be okay in the future for my future family.
Man, you sound tough as nails, man. I'm impressed that you came onto this show, to be honest with you, because you made that announcement literally just a few days ago. I would like to ask now, how did you even come to this decision? Tell me about kind of the evolution of making this decision. Did you know in the back of your mind that this might be a thing that you will have to do, or did it all of a sudden pop up and you're like, all right, that's one too many injuries. It's time to hang it up?
No. So yeah. In high school, I had about, I think 1 or 2 concussions, maybe. I know I for sure had one. I probably had another. But it wasn't as bad as when I came to college. My true freshman year, got another concussion, and that's when it all started to get really bad. So I had a concussion my true freshman year, then another one last season where I missed a whole year, and that was another bad one. And I told myself after the last one, if I got another concussion, that, I was going to hang it up, because, concussions are nothing to take lightly. And, messing with the head and the brain, it can be very dangerous. So I knew I just had to make the right decision for my health and for my brain. So it's just, I've known for a couple weeks. I got hit 3 weeks ago, got another concussion about 3 weeks ago. So I knew then a couple days after that I was going to hang it up and medically retire. But I just made the announcement, what was it, Monday morning. So I've known for a couple weeks, but it was just going to be hard to put it out to the public and really make it official.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm sure, I mean, you didn't come to this decision alone. Well, maybe you did, but I assume were you talking with your family and maybe coaches or a doctor or anything?
Yeah, so I first brought it up to my athletic trainer that I was thinking about being done, and our team doctor. And then there's a doctor out in Pittsburgh that I go and see that I've seen 3 times now who specializes with concussions. I had to talk with him and obviously my coaches and my parents. But I first really told my parents 2 weeks, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago during Christmas break when I was back home. And, that was very emotional just because, wrestling's in my family and it's all we've ever done. I got two little sisters that wrestle. So having to tell them was very hard and emotional. But yeah, I just relied on my teammates and my family, coaches, and doctors. So it was a hard decision to make, but it had to be done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, no one would disagree with the idea that you made the right decision. I mean, way to put your health first, because I'm sure it was tempting to push through and because, I read that you said you thought you'd wrestle until your body said you couldn't anymore, but I don't think you pictured it going quite like this.
No, yeah. I mean, like I said before, I told myself if I got another concussion, I was going to be done. I just didn't think it was going to happen as soon as it did. So it was very shocking. And, I love wrestling to death. So,
yeah,
it's just something I've always done. And, it's hard, man, just giving this sport up, but I'll always be around the sport no matter what, whether it's coaching or anything like that. I love wrestling. So,
yeah. Well, really quick before we move on from this, I've never had a concussion. And I mean, there's probably a lot of listeners that also have not had concussions. How's it work? Do they get worse and worse as you get more and more? And what's it feel like? Like, what's that experience like?
Yeah. So the first couple times, I was feeling okay, first 2 concussions in college, I didn't go to class for about a month. Just constant headaches. With me, it goes headaches, and just it messed with my eyes. My eyes alignment is kind of messed up from concussion.
Whoa.
So yeah, so it first happened with there, but we did exercises, going to see that doctor out in Pittsburgh that gave me exercises, help my eyes and help them get focused. So it's just really bad headaches, dizziness, nauseous feelings, and just really not being able to sleep for a week.
Holy cow, man. That sounds like torture.
Yeah, it's definitely nothing to mess around with, and it's hard. So it's when you can't sleep really and you can't go to class, it takes a toll on you, and it's hard to go through, and I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy. So
wow. Well, just recently I did a short film on this girl who was a Division I swimmer at Stanford. She said she would have sold her soul to have the success she wanted to in swimming. I'm sure you understand, of course, you dedicate your whole life to this sport. However, she was willing to admit that although this sport more or less ripped her heart out, she still acknowledged that there were some good memories in it, and so I kind of want to ask you then, on a happier note, maybe what's maybe one of your favorite memories from wrestling?
Man, there's so many memories I've had with this sport. I've been doing it since I've been first started competing. I was 4 years old, and I'm 22 now. So I've been doing this for almost 20 years, I feel like. And, just there's been so many memories, but definitely, winning those 3 state titles in Illinois, Illinois is a tough wrestling state to win at, and just being able to do that and making 2 world teams in the freestyle scene, and obviously winning Fargo a couple times, it's a big, those were my happy moments. And then, making just being able to go to Division I college. Not many high school wrestlers can say that they made it to a Division I college and wrestled at such a high level, make it to the NCAA national championships and, make it to the round of 12. So, I just had so many memories with the sport of wrestling, and I'm going to create so many more. So I'm excited.
Well, so now, I mean, you already had legend status here in Illinois before you even graduated. I mean, you're one of the greats of all time in the state of Illinois. And so people are going to start turning to you kind of for, some wisdom. I'm sure you have a lot. So I want to ask, what's wrestling taught you? What are some of the most valuable things that it's taught you that you're going to take with you later in life?
Oh man, it's taught me discipline, discipline for sure. Just being able to maintain a good, healthy lifestyle. Sorry, my dog's
You're good.
barking, but just having to maintain a good, healthy lifestyle with diet, doing the right things on and off the mat on a consistent basis. Accountability, if you say you're going to do something, you got to go do it. Hard work on and off the mat, being able to put multiple days together and doing things that most people wouldn't want to. Sorry, my dog's. But just doing the right things on and off the mat, that's for sure. And man, there's so many lessons I've learned from wrestling. But if there's one thing I'm going to take away from this sport is that, you can be kind of a dick on the mat, but you better be able to be a nice guy off the mat. So that's something I've taken away from it, and, just living a good life.
Yeah, you seem like an insightful guy on your Instagram. I know I was reading your captions. I'm like, man, this guy seems like a really nice guy. It seems like also that your faith has been a big part of, you being who you are. Has that helped maybe in this whole process?
Yeah, it's definitely helped a lot. I didn't start believing in God until I came to college, and, I've had some really good teammates who are believers in Christ, and, they're really deep in their faith. So, being able to rely on God and knowing that, he's always going to be there for me no matter what, and that there's something I can fall back on and just put all my trust into God and, just living my life for him,
Wow, man. That's awesome. I think of some of your coaches, I don't know much about Kevin Dresser or St. John, but I know that Metcalf, I don't know if you were particularly close to Metcalf. He has a pretty solid faith. Did he have anything to do with the development of your faith, or?
Yeah, he's had a little bit of development in my faith. I see him at church on Sundays, quite a bit. So, just seeing there's so many high level wrestlers out there that, have a faith in God. And so it was quite motivating for me to, take that next step and believe in him. So it's, Metcalf's played a pretty good role in my life with Christ. So.
Wow. Awesome. Well, like you said earlier, life goes on. So, I'm very curious, and I'm sure everyone else is. What's next for Austin Gomez?
What's next? Right now, I plan on graduating with a bachelor's degree in business marketing in May. So that's the next step in my life. And then, I'm really not sure what I'm going to do just yet because it's so early on. I just made the announcement. But I have had some people reach out to me. It's been nice knowing that, I can fall back maybe on the coaching scene with wrestling and still be involved in sport. So, but my dad also owns a wrestling club here in the Chicagoland area. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And, but I know that I'm going to be well set, and I'm going to be in the sport of wrestling until I die. So
I'm not surprised. I mean, yeah, your dad has a Gomez Wrestling Academy. Is that right? Or is it Gomez Wrestling?
Yep. Gomez Wrestling.
Yeah. And I know you're a heck of a clinician. I live in Fairbury, Illinois. In Chenoa, they have the compound, and they said they've had you in there before with your dad, Hector, and you guys are great. So, I mean, you could coach, you could go into business, you could go into marketing within business. You got a good head on your shoulders. You got a strong faith. I mean, the best is absolutely yet to come.
Yeah, I'm excited for what my future holds, whether it's in the sport or it's not in the sport. So I know that I have a degree to fall back on, and that's what's most important to me right now.
Yeah. Now, you might have trouble answering this just about my last question, but I want to know, and the reason I say you might have trouble answering it is because wrestling might be your life through and through. So I was going to ask, who is Austin Gomez outside of wrestling? What do you like to do outside of the sport? What are your aspirations?
Yeah, so I mean, wrestling's all I've ever known, but outside of wrestling, I like working out, I like going for runs. I'm a big family guy. My family's super close. I'm super close to my family. So just spending time with them, doing things with my teammates and friends, just hanging out, having a good time, and, just try not thinking about wrestling when I'm not in the wrestling room as much. But yeah, I just like to live life and, do things that I've never done before. So I like to be adventurous and yeah, just have a good time, I guess.
We're about ready to wrap this thing up then. At this point of the show, I typically like to ask people, is there anyone you'd like to thank, maybe that's helped you through this whole process or just always been there for you?
Yeah, of course. I'd just like to thank my mom and dad and my sisters for always being there for me and supporting me throughout this journey and, making it happen for me for getting this far in life with wrestling. And then I'd obviously just like to thank all my coaches I've had and all the training partners I've had up until this point in my life. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And just want to thank God for giving me so many opportunities I've had in my life and everything he's done for me and, everything he's forgiven me for. So, just I have so much to be thankful for. And frankly, I'm probably going to miss somebody. So I just don't want to say them all, but yeah, it's been a good run and I'm excited for what's ahead.
Well, Austin, it means a lot that you came on, man. I'm sure these have been an emotional last few days. So it really means a lot that you agreed to come on and talk about it all.
No, yeah. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me that I have so many people supporting me in my decision and, all the kind words people have said to me about my wrestling career. So it means a lot to me.
Absolutely. All right, Austin, we'll go ahead and sign off now then. Thanks again.
No, yeah. Thank you. It means a lot.